actually start the recording for serious time, serious mode. Inco noted, for those who forgot, is ending on Inco, and he gets his banana slam. I mean, he gets his neck snapped on a thing. Now he can't talk very good. Unlike a lot of stories where that would be a bit and it goes away over time, I think it's in the sequel too. Like, there's a sequel story to Inco noted. Love is Blind, I think it's called, and like, no, the author's sticking to it. We're keeping this. This is for keeps. Which, admittedly, what a nice refresher. What a nice bit of commitment. So Inco got himself hammered. His parents, they're absent as ever. My son almost died. Well, what a shame. What a shame. And they left. Meanwhile, Randy and, what's his name? Roberto? Damien, that's the name. Are giving him pat-pats to make him feel better. I'm surprised Ferris isn't here. I was kind of got the vibe that Ferris was, connected to the Payne family. But, that is a bit much to ask, even given the context. He was out of it for a while, too. I'm tired, though. I think the second I start streaming, I just automatically lose, like, 40% remaining energy. Just like that. It's like, I know I'm not going to make $50 on the stream. And, like, all the energy leaves my body. And it's like, I'll come back later when we are doing something that makes $50. One of those crisp dollar bills. You grab it by the edges and you go, pop, pop. You stretch it out a little bit, and you're like, that's looking pretty smooth McGroove. Maybe get a little iron, go right over, smooth them out a little bit. Some people I know are complaining about that dungeon game. Hold the phone. People are having a Dungeons and Dragons discussion, and it looks interesting. Perfect meal is a verb. It's about the fact that I'm trying to make this a perfect meal. Jesus, why is it that when I start streaming, the best posts come out? Let me slap myself silly, and we'll get to the actual gosh dang point. How about that? I've had enough of this. You heard me. I had enough of this. Let's just get to meat and potatoes. That's how you know it's a professional. I did mention this. Nothing to Something has an ending that I feel weird about, and then I recorded something, and I don't know, man. I don't know if I want either of those coming out. One is a more formalized critical analysis. But by the end of it, I realized that Nothing to Something is either like an amateur who has no fucking intention to ever learn in his entire life and just refuses to acknowledge that maybe he should have stopped and started a new story at some point. Like, the dichotomy of the narrative is ridiculous. But, on the other hand, there's also the ending where I just lose my shit and cry. I'm still convinced that Nothing to Something is a troll and not someone's sincere effort, because Jesus Christ, my hope in humanity will have turned into a tiny little marble you can pick into the hole. I remember, by the way, a time when I don't know why, but we had these tiles at school, like these tiles, like floor tiles, like paving tiles, and they had little holes in them so you could pay marbles. All I can think about is that marbles are, man, marbles. Am I right, gamers? Anyway, to their credit, the Dilo duo made great time. Damien practically crashed into the room with an armful of boxes, with Randy following behind, chastising his son for the commotion. You are in a hospital. You should probably be politer than that. Let's crank up the music a little bit so we can all hear it. Damien brought the mother load. Hell yeah. Wow, I'd never even seen the Paynes do a game night that didn't involve their game consoles or TV. But they clearly had a secret stash somewhere because they brought a dozen different games for us to try. As Damien laid out the spread of options on the floor for consideration, I couldn't help but smile a little. He still looked ragged, but he was acting like his old self again. Part of that probably was a bit of show to make things feel more normal, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't appreciate it. It's going to have aliens, guns, violence, and a one-liner. Now, you say that, the Senator, but that is technically an idea I've been wanting to implement, but my writing has basically choked on itself and died, and is now just lying in an alley somewhere forgotten. Because I keep crashing into ideas on how to implement them, and then I feel bad about them, and I'm like, No one will want to actually see this, right? Why would I write it down if I'm not going to put it up somewhere? Because I already got it in my head. And like, Anyway, Damien's being a cool guy. As I mulled over the options before me, Randy passed me some fast food. A burger, a double specifically, and fries and soda. I ravaged the burger immediately, earning a hearty laugh from the father-son duo. We'll make a proper carnivore out of you yet, Randy exclaimed. Look like at the next cookout I'll have to plate up properly. I paused for a moment. The next one? I looked at the two and they were already weighing in the options which came to play as they snacked away at their meals. We were down 3 other members of our group. That would either be Olivia, Sophia, and Vincent, but maybe Liz? Because I imagine that, girlfriend and all, Liz would attend some of them from time to time. If he's talking about his own personal group, I don't think it's that big. Liz and Olivia. But there was a flash of normalcy again. You already mentioned that, buddy. You've already been hammering the normalcy. It was the pain's experience that I'd grown to love, and I couldn't help but smile. Man, I don't want to be too harsh, but you might want to branch out your ideas a little. I mean, I guess it's trying to lay it on thick, because from Inco's perspective, it's like, man, everything's back to normal. And then his brain skips a beat because it's damaged. It's like, back to normal. Back. King Ramses, the man in gauze. The record is completely broken, but the curse is still there, so please return the slab. Yeah, I think there'll be a next one. So, son, which one grabs your interest? Randy finally turned to me to act as final arbitrator of our evening entertainment. I looked over the options. There were more classical board games, dice and cards and playmats, and the like. One was a big monstrous box that looked like some kind of role-playing game. Role-playing games are very... What do you mean, like some kind of role-playing game? Are you talking about, what is it called again, Frosthaven or Gloomhaven? I guess those are technically role-playing games. Are you talking about, I guess Kingdom Death is really big, right? Twilight Imperium is probably a pretty big box. I've heard it's a very sizable game at the minimum. Yeah, I guess... Those aren't really role-playing games, because they're still just games first and foremost, with the role-playing component being more mechanically driven than player-driven. Meet the new gym teacher S. Sins Hammond. Sam Sirius Stone, and after Mental Force... I mean, admittedly, that does sound like something Sam would get up to fill the time. He seems like the kind of character that never really got the respect from the creators and avoid situations like that, so I could see it happening. Man, I really should get back to that playthrough of the latest, the one for the Xbox 360. Back when we had a black and a white button. Does anyone remember back when you pushed that for grenades and I think Halo? Oh, man. What a wacky idea that was. Thinking about how those buttons work, it made me realize they're very awkward buttons. They were off to the side, they were kind of small. You couldn't really feel them out too well. You kind of had to learn if left or right. I don't know. I'll give the GameCube this much. It legitimately tried to use form factor to make it easier to learn what buttons were what. Downside is that the B button was small and the A button was a little too big for what it wanted to do, so you know what I mean. I still can't tell you if the black is the upper or the lower button. Sorry, buddies. I don't know. Anyway. While they did seem interesting, I don't think we had the time tonight. Also, it felt like those would be better served with a larger group than just the 3 of us. Just the 3 of us. I'll look over some of the more reserved options, and one caught my eye. You have Pictionary? I jotted down on my notepad. Sure do. Figures an artist. He's a photographer. Means he has a photographic memory in his memory card. Boys were never really into drawing all that. Oh, no, this is a different game. I'm thinking of a different game. I'm thinking of whatever. The older Payne answered. This elicited a small but playful groan from Damien. I'm thinking of charades. Charades is taking a Pictionary and slapping it, I think. What is that game, though? We have, like, a big searching... Like, you gotta find the thing. Just like all those mobile games for some reason have a hidden item thing going on. Apparently, it's a real smash hit with the girls and the women. Which is understandable. It's kind of fun to do, actually, looking for things. Everyone wants to find that good old little Mr. Waldo and get their money back. Well, I suck too, even playing field. Damien's eyes lit up as if it was an agreeable notion. What a weird way to phrase that. Like I said, I start recording, I'll lose all my energy. Pushing the start button is a hell of a chore. Hey, you'll be getting a lot of practice with pen paper now, huh? He said. Immediately as the words left his mouth, his hand snapped his snout shut, eyes wide. Randy. Oh wait, Damien. Randy hissed. I garbled, waving my hands, trying to diffuse the faux pas. It's just a little rude. Just like a little scooch. It's just a little scooch. It's not so bad. Hold on. There's something I just realized that needs to be taken care of. There you go. There we go. I hosted myself from the bed, but feeling a bit more sure of myself than the trip to the bathroom, and with the motivation to help dig Damien out of the hole he just jumped into. This caught both of their attentions. Shouldn't they be both of their attentions? I don't know. And they rose to meet me. Yeah, Chippy, because it's... But I slid my way down onto the floor level with Damien. Dictionary's fine, you're right, I need to practice, I scrawled. Remember to use Dungeon Scroll to make your Dungeons and Dragons dungeons. You'll never fucking use them because who plays dungeons anymore? Dungeons aren't for roleplay, they're for roleplay, or flutters my lashes. And rakes in the cold hard cash. That's why my system involves only dice for fun. You roll the dice when you're feeling a little sick of your game master, and that's about it. Randy accepted the message, but still held his disappointed father expression while looking at Damien. Damien, for his part, sheepishly scratched the back of his head with that same smile he always had. I want to say something. We don't get all that much of Damien with his dad, do we? Stared at him for a moment. I remember my second day at St. Hammond's. I ate with Damien and Olivia and found out, without a shred of malice in him, that he spread rumors about my date with the dodgeball. I guess there were multiple. And again, when it turned out he had let slip Olivia's old nickname. The Dilo boy in front of me had a perpetual habit of well-meaning foot-to-mouth syndrome that's almost rivaled mine. Then again, surprising everyone in the room, most of all myself, a giggle bubbled up from within me. Before I knew it, it transformed into a belly laugh. I like how, from their perspective, you're just laughing out of nowhere. Even after all that happened, Damien was still, undeniably, categorically Damien. And I couldn't help but laugh. The dino pair across me were clearly pleased that I wasn't angry, but quite confused at the sudden outburst. And as the laughter died down and wiped my eyes, I grabbed my notepad. I'm glad you're you, Damien. I showed the note with a smile. He was clearly taken aback by the note, though Randy read it and found himself a little more at ease. With a habit of awkwardness over, we settled on playing some Pictionary. I need to look up what Pictionary is, because I just listen. Okay. I'm a very old man. I'm a little grumpy, and I woke up. Oh, God damn it. Dang. I was hoping for this argument. Why do I... Seriously, though. I don't know why. I felt fine before now. And I can talk just fine. Trying to do a tarot reading, but the guy across the table is running mono blue and keeps countering my major arcana. 9 of plowshares. Well, I know someone who needs to see that one. I do. Swords of plowshares is a white card, not a blue. And then dinosaurs is in the Major Arcana card, so this is... Oh, men will see an MTG reference and say, is anyone correct in this? And not wait for an answer. Hot dog, if that isn't just the truth. God dang it. Oh, someone couldn't remember the word ferret. Hell yeah, I love oiterdinkt. For those who don't know, oiterdinkt is a ferret who sticks his head in the water, and it's oiterdinkt. See, this is the problem. This is why I wanna do more recording in my own time and get rid of the streams, because the streams is just me 90% being too tired to say anything sensible. And in true familial fashion, the pair playfully ribbed at me at how truly awful my drawing skills were. Looking at the sketches before me, I couldn't help but completely agree. Even though it was only a few minutes after completing the sketch, I would look back and already begin getting hazy on what I was supposed to have drawn on the paper. It's a wonder Olivia put up with my attempts at teaching me to paint at all. That thought sparked another pang in me. No, it's a wonder Olivia put up with me at all. After a moment, I realized the two were staring at me, and I felt that I had grown quite a frown on my face. Man, I was outside today, and it was cold, and it was wet, and I was just freezing all over. Olivia can have the cannon. I mean, it's perfect for the wheelchair. She can kick her legs up and, like, mount it between the wheels, low center of gravity. She can just activate it by kicking it with her heel. She doesn't need her legs for that. Actually, no. She would lift her thighs up. If she could, given the angle. Then her leg would just... it doesn't work. We're gonna have to brainstorm some ideas. You good there? You good, man? I tried to shake my head, but the neck brace made it a gentle wobble at best. Couldn't wait for this to be removed. Waved my hand at them and scrawled a note. My hand started to cramp from the workout they were receiving today. Man, Inco, do you actually do any homework? It's nothing. It's just thinking. They shot each other a look, then Randy checked his watch. It's probably it's probably getting on for us to leave anyways. They'll be kicking us out soon regardless. And we all stood, though I had a wobblier time than them. Randy helped me hoist myself back into bed. Damien finished cleaning up the board games and stuck them under the chair next to the bed, clearly planning on picking them back up where we left off last time. I like that idea. As Damien turned to say something, a yawn overtook him. Hell yeah, Damien, welcome to the Yawn Club. Yawn Zone. I was honestly impressed by its intensity. I think he unhinged his jaw and made almost 180-degree span with his mouth. Unfortunately, this also set off a yawn above myself and Randy as well. It's infectious. My poor jaw control not stopping my own. Yeah, I think the real problem is that you got a neck brace. Those get in the way of that. Right? A little bit. At least as wide as you might want a yawn to be. Sorry, I guess it's contagious. That it is. It's been a long day for all of us. Come on, son. Let's head home for now. Randy said, patting Damien on the shoulder before I turned to me and continuing. I'll be back tomorrow for whenever that specialist gets here. I nodded my reply, but Damien took a step towards the bed. He pulled free from his dad. Dang. Oh, one sec, Pops. He closed in, his ominous in his expression as he raised his frill to block my view from his dad. It was a secret meeting. I need like a bucket of ice water I can dunk on myself before a stream. Cheat the system, as they say. Let's put on a different track. Chill thinking theme. Now we need something a bit more tense. That is... That's way too tense. Every single time, I'm like, I forgot how good the soundtrack for this fucking game was. Because I was talking the whole damn time. I don't know how to explain this right, but like, doing voiceovers for a visual novel fucking kills your capacity to enjoy the damn soundtrack. Jesus. And the reason I remember is, like, I pick up just enough that when I hear it in full, I'm like, oh, that's what it sounds like without the wall between us. Of my voice resonating through my goddamn skull. Hey, man, I'm glad you're doing better, and I know you said we'll talk later, and we will, but this is important. I nodded. I felt compelled to swallow the lump in my throat in anticipation of what was next. I don't forgive you. I can't yet. That's probably not what you want to hear, but what you did was, His eyes turned away and he snorted in frustration. And then he continued. But I can see you're different, if only a little. I think you're trying, and I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt, okay? I contemplated on that for a moment. And they gave him a slow but definite nod, as much as the neck brace allowed, maintaining eye contact with his tense expression. He held my gaze for a moment longer before dropping his frills, and the smile returned. Awesome! That's good to hear, man. I'll try to swing by sometime tomorrow, yeah? I flashed a thumbs up as he made his way for the door. Randy, however, watched him make the trip and then turned his expression to me. A furrowed brow told me that despite Damien's protective frills and blocking line of sight, it did nothing to preserve the secretness of our secret meeting. Damien has no volume control is the fucking problem, my man. Damien has like one tone of voice and it's, hey, how you doing? Hey, it's Kobo. Holy shit, he exists. Admittedly, I can say the same about someone else that I should be having a lot more conversations with. But I'm not going to take out my anger on you for that, Como. I'm seriously fucking pissed, man. Oh, man. Yeah, I imagine your work probably ain't that great. I'm fine. I'm just tired. I got rained on and froze half of my face today. That was great. It was rainy and windy and, like, for some reason, the walk we did was not anywhere sheltered or with trees to break the winds. It was just like whoosh, a lot of rain. Whoosh. Great. Oh, here we go. Yet another Damien moment. I would have laughed at it, but Randy's stare killed the sensation. I think Inco's got something he wants to tell me real quick, Damien. You can head to the car. I'll be down in a moment. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. I'm just upset that Xylo doesn't want to fucking talk right. It's like the game got put off because I was out of commission. And now it's like Xylo's being the fucking problem. And honestly, listen, I'm having fun with the Sunday game. I think Slug Blasters is fantastic. But I would like to move on because that game has reached the pinnacle of what my players are willing to fucking bother with. That system is great if your players want to put in a little more energy than the guys I'm working with right now really want to. Or maybe they'll do better next time. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking care. I got a lot of games in the backlog. I got the Magical Kingdom of Yeld. I got Mutants in the Now. What else do I have? I know that I want to try Cypher again because I was told that apparently I might be more mature enough to actually run Cypher and not eat my own heart out in the process. What else is on the fucking list? I have a list right here. Oh, I want to do Traveler or Mindjammer. I've really been in a Mindjammer mood to the point that it's infected my writing in a good way. I guess there's Earth Dawn. I'm okay with learning, yeah, this is a bunch of stuff on the list. I think there's some new ones that I haven't added since. Let's see if I can find them. Quest game. I've been told that Quest is something else. Oh yeah, I picked up some Gamma World PDFs. There's Eureka Dungeon Bitches. It's apparently a hell of a time. I don't know if I have anyone that I could play that with, though. Because that game is like, let me stab you in the heart 15 times. The story, everyone! You know, the Looney Tunes. Hey! It also, unlike a lot of Power by the Apocalypse games, has the fucking guts to keep the sex moves. Hell yeah! Not that sex moves are about describing erotic roleplay. They are about the fact that having sex with someone that, you know, means something and carries a certain emotional weight and je ne sais quoi, to the point that your playbook, the thing you are playing, has an impact on that in a meaningful and significant capacity. I'm just saying, it's weird that a lot of Power of the Apocalypse books got rid of that. They took everything, but they left this behind. And Power of the Apocalypse is fucking weird. Isn't there, like, the weird, like, your brain can hook up to this fucking Mindscape or something? It's just something else. I think that Mindjammer should make its own system, though, because it does kind of gel with Traveler and kind of gels. I guess it works best with Fate because of what it's trying to be. So it's a great way to curb the concept of a Mary Sue, but I think the big problem with Fate is that Fate requires your players to shoot themselves in the foot. It requires them to be willing to make concessions for the sake of the narrative, and, like, good fucking luck! Oh, there's Dragonbane. That's one that I almost forgot. Anyway, Randy is going to interrogate Inco. Oh, no! Damien looked back, and I flashed him another thumbs up. Man, your thumb is getting a workout, buddy! Which was enough to send him off. Unfortunately for my sense of ease, Randy retook his seat next to the bed. And you're putting off your talk with Damien. Whatever that means. But why did he say he can't forgive you, Inco? And there it was. I felt a knot forming in my knot, and... But even after everything, Randy had gone out of his way for me. Trying to shy away from this would only make it worse. I grabbed the notepad and sat for a moment, trying to think of how to start this conversation I really don't want to have. You know, what I could do, with all my writing being up the fucking fritz, is I could do that ending one Silent Hill story for Inco. Because then I finally get to put Evelyn to use, and Wanda I can involve too, and I can make something of it. Because that entire story is about... The entire thing that I wanted to do for, like, Silent Hill, I did it with Nasser and the gang, but I want to do it with, what's his name? Inco. And the idea is that Inco, in ending one, he's kind of like, he comes out an asshole. He comes out a big fat jerk. So, when he is confronted with Silent Hill, he's like, oh, I saw this in an essay. And he doesn't understand things, because that's how he works. And that's basically half the premise, is that he starts hurting people around him, because that's just, oh, Evelyn, you're a boss fight. And then he just shoots an actual person under that impression. Because he's become, you know, the story tries to talk about that, you know, individuals who are online a lot and how it might taint them as people. And he's supposed to be the logical extreme of that, because it's fucking funny. And it gives some dramatic stakes that are fucking hilarious. I need a better supporting cast, though. Evelyn works because she's mostly innocent. So she works fantastically as the person that Inco eventually shoots. And as a general person to keep everyone up on their feet. You know, her job is just to keep the story alive. To take off a lot of the hard edges for people. So we can make it... So we can cut a little deeper. Is more of a... No, you don't understand, Senator. It doesn't start off with him shooting Evelyn. He shoots Evelyn, like, way after he shot a bunch of monsters. And is like, oh, my ending is right around the corner. I'll bring Olivia back to life. And Evelyn is more just like, listen, Inco, you don't like where you're going, okay? I know what happens to people who go down this road, and it's not good. Because part of the narrative for Evelyn is that she and Silent Hill are kind of on the same page. But Silent Hill is just abusing her, because she's a fantastic way to get people to fuck up more. Just have this person on the inside who's not inside. You know, they know about the pump and dump, but they don't know where in the pump and dump they're brought in. And that's just mean. And a fun twist. It's you know, taking Silent Hill a bold new direction. It does assign some intentionality to whatever forces seem to make Silent Hill what it is. But fuck it, man. Silent Hill has gone between it's a world-ending apocalypse with Harry fucking Mason, and also, no, it's actually about the mind, and I'm in a psychiatrist's office now, I guess. I like Shattered Memories, though. There's something about Shattered Memories. The vibes just fucking gel with me. Ooh. I don't know why, I just really like Shattered Memories vibes. The gameplay is ass, but, like, the game itself is, the narrative, the aesthetics, has a certain je ne sais quoi I can't put my finger on. Just the idea that you're playing this fucking figment of someone's imagination. Oh. How could you... This town is full of monsters. How can you sit there eating dino nuggies? You don't understand, Inco. Olivia loves dino nuggies. I've never seen her eat any of those. Really? I thought we ate them like every week. Damien... Actually, Damien... No. No, Damien definitely has a dark side. I think his Silent Hill would probably confront him with the fact that he's just bottling himself up, like he's neglecting himself. He operates on the idea that if he just shut the hell up, things would work out eventually, and that didn't work out. So that would be his Silent Hill, is that he's confronted with the fact that he should have fucking done something. Just like Nasser, he should have fucking done something. I think it's funny that you can draw so many parallels between Snoot Game and Wani. And just how different everything else, the vibes are. Anyway, we're reading a story, aren't we? And there it was. I felt the knot forming in my gut, but even after everything, Randy had gone out of his way for me. Trying to shy away from this would only make it worse. I grabbed the notepad and sat for a moment, trying to think of how to start the conversation I really don't want to have. Another option for me is to continue, what is it called? What the hell was the name of the, I don't even know what it's fucking called anymore. It should be somewhere around here. Olivia in a Land of Metal Snow in the King in Blue. AKA Olivia Wani Gator slams directly into everything Nier is. I still like the core conceit of Nier and the application of the setting on a broader scope. But man, that story is not getting finished. Now is it? I mean, why though? I don't know. I think I just got really insecure about things. And maybe it's because I don't want to ever publish anything with Evelyn. And since she's like in the next chapter or whatever, I like it or not, because she is introduced there and she's kind of important for the greater plot. Good job, Safi. You did it yourself. Several false starts, scratch our beginnings. Randy waited patiently, but Randy was patient, but Randy was patiently but sternly waiting through all of it. You should include another comma there, buddy. Eventually, I settled on a starting point that we all agreed on. I heard Olivia. Oh, he scratched out because he's writing on a notepad. I forgot. That's neat. That's good. My favorite part of Shadows now, everything changes the game, even if not opposed to too long. Yeah. The implementation isn't great, but the idea of the game is just great, you know? It's just... No, I'm not going to make that comparison, because it doesn't fucking deserve it. He read the message and returned his gaze to me. You, hurt her. Did you try and talk to her at all since you got your phone back? A long, slow sigh escaped my lips. No. Look, son. I know things are intense right now, but the only person who Olivia ever opened up to like that was you. Sure, obviously things didn't go well at the formal, but I think she'd like to hear from you, at least to know that you're okay. His voice carried a subtle hint of concern, though I couldn't quite place if that was for Olivia or for me. Certainly didn't deserve it if it was. I put the pen to paper again, but like before, it was slow going. I was beginning to notice that the one benefit of this condition was that it really truly forced me to consider what I was going to say before I said it. I had many moments where I tried to open my mouth when I shouldn't have. Put my 2 cents when I shouldn't have. Tried to be clever when I shouldn't have. Which is funny because indeed one of the options that I very vividly remember is that he just doesn't say anything and he just pushes her out of the bullying situation. That's the first one that comes to mind. So yeah. Now, I had to consider. Which comes up in the squeakquel. I had to consider what I had to say. A safety reel for my stupid mouth and stupid brain. I thought back to the various times my help only made things worse. And there were many times. So many. Times... Oh, wait. There were many times. So many times in the last months. The formal was a practical non-stop stream of it. But there were other moments that hurt just as much. Like when I tried to be so brave and so smart. Save my fair gator maiden from the bullies and make myself look like a total ass. No, the part where you look like a total ass is when you were like, this is bullying! I mean, I know that he says this is textbook bullying, but the statement stands. To his credit, Randy continued to give me the time I needed to work out what to write. I was thankful for him. Though I felt a bit of regret knowing that Damien was probably standing out in the parking lot wondering what the hell was taking so long. Eventually, I settled on what to say next. I'm scared. Scared of what, Olivia? I was having less lines to scratch out as what I wanted to say started to become more concrete in my mind. I had always folded to the slightest bit of pressure, the slightest bit of resistance. But totally spineless until my injury, and I know where that landed me. I was terrified, because I don't think Damien told Randy anything about what happened at the winter formal. I was scared that coming clean would completely completely upend my life that had been cast to me ever since I woke up. But if I was going to make things better, I couldn't keep it a secret. If this was the final blow for the fragile support I'd built up today, then it was never meant to be. Not that I ever deserved it in the first place, but it was a sickly sensation to resolve. Or just relenting to what reality was now. I faced the gallows and Randy Payne, patriarch of his household. I faced the gallows and Randy Payne, patriarch of his household, would be my judge and jury. I don't know what it is, by the way. I don't know how to put this, but like, is it just me, or does it feel like a lot of these fucking stories refer to the parents as patriarchs and matriarchs? Is that just an American thing I don't know about? Because that's so fucking awkward. Also, I really don't like how Promise of a Lifetime describes Samantha. I think a lot of people don't get Samantha all too right. Like, Samantha seems to be intelligent enough that when Fang does the E3 turnaround, she'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Stop. Slow down, buddy. What the hell? Holy shit, that's a mountain of blahage. Damn. Anyway, began to write. No scratch outs or restarts this time, just a slow, deliberate scrawl. I'm scared to talk to Olivia again. Like, if I even mention her, this time she would break forever. I don't know. I know that at times, in like specific contexts, the man and the woman of the house are referred to as matriarch and patriarch, as a sort of superfluous funny title, of like, oh look, they are they're the man of the house, the woman of the house. But the way they're used here implies that the term is more casual, and I'm like, this is not how modern people talk at all. It feels weirdly old-fashioned. It doesn't feel old-fashioned, because even back in the day, that's not how you refer to these people. This is like some modern retroism. It's like trying to make the 50s bigger than it was. I guess? I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It just feels super weird to me. Because, the man of the house. Just call him the man of the house. He's not the fucking patriarch of the Payne clan. He's not gonna rip off his jacket, reveal a sick-ass tattoo, and beat the shit out of Kiryu. And then get his ass kicked, because you don't fucking fight Kiryu. Oh, at least if Kiryu gives a shit. If Kiryu is like, I'm just playing slot car derby, he doesn't get to unlock his full potential, I guess. Although he does really get... He's such a fucking weird character, all things considered. I'm gonna learn how to suplex a car. Randy read the words and looked at me, and looked over his shoulder. Almost as if he expected Damien to be there. I'm pretty sure your son's better than that. He mauled on that for a moment and then looked back at me. What happened at the formal, Inco? Tell me the truth. Now, son. His voice was low, but even. If you want to go back to Victorian... Yeah, master of the house! Like, the problem I have with it is that it's such a Latin term to use, and I don't like it for that. Yeah, this is why it strikes me as odd, is because one of the definitions is any of the biblical figures regarded as fathers of the human race. The male head of a family or tribe. Yeah, I can see it being used for like a tribe or something, that kind of context. It's the familial context that feels so weird to me. A bishop of one of the most ancient Christian sees? What? Man, this term's got some baggage. I love how it goes Greek, 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 Latin, and then Old English, and then Old French. As if fucking... I'm pretty sure that Latin has roots in Old French. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. What a weird origin layout to lay down. Patria, family, and arches, meaning ruling. Wait a minute, then why is matriarch like that? Oh, maybe it's like, it's like... Oh, that comes from mother. But patriarch just comes from family. What the hell? I'm learning some whack shit today. By the way, the devs confirmed it. When characters go into heat mode with the blue flame aura, it's real and people can literally see... I've been told... I watched a video on, like, Yakuza power levels, and the guy explained that, like, willpower is... It is obvious that in the Yakuza, in Like a Dragon world, That is how the world works. Your power comes from believing very hard in shit and having combat training and being a Yakuza. But believing in shit's important. You gotta want it, baby. Anyway, now's the time for that extra spooky soundtrack for spooky times. Maybe the intent. No, this is a very different intensity, Safi. Furious March of Red. What did Damien tell you? I inquired. Almost nothing. He said that you did something bad and hurt Olivia. And when you went to chase after her, he stopped and you two fought. Ferris stopped him, dislocated his elbow in the process, and then the next thing anyone knew was finding Olivia screaming for help on those stairs. Damien, he thought you died. Those last words were choked out. And this man that legitimately cared that his son almost thought I was dead in some terrible accident. God, I wish it was that simple. I took a steadying breath. Long and slow to settle myself. Maybe you should turn that one around. Take a long breath. Long and slow breath to steady yourself. It feels a bit better. It feels a bit more organic. This man deserved the full picture, so here we go. I folded over a new page and began to write. It was somewhat jumbled. I admit, between the injury and the intensity of the emotions of the night, some things were hazier than others. But I laid out everything I could remember, starting with the shopping detour. I wrote down how dismissive... Sorry, this is phrasing that works way better when you're reading it over just trying to say it out loud. I wrote down about how dismissive I realized I was at Olivia's choice and dress. Still an awkward sentence, though. How I tried to placate her with expensive purchases. I think you were just pushing things onto her to buy. And it's not placation, it's more like buying, you know. How things shook down at the formal where I pressured her about the eulogy. I was buddy-buddy with her school bully. I took Ben's side of things. How I danced with her bully instead of her. How I had taken those pictures in a moment of weakness, never considering the emotions she was fighting were real. I continued to write. My pace picked up, my lettering becoming worse, both from the steadily boiling self-hatred and the cramping of my hand. I wrote how Damien had confronted me more than once about Olivia, and how the final time after that picture when he destroyed my camera and claimed me a black... If Ferris hadn't stopped him, he would have continued to beat me. Would he? I always got the impression that he was gonna, like, rough you up just a little bit. Like, the black eye was, like, the first one, and then maybe another, and then he's like, oh, okay, this isn't going anywhere, is it? I don't see Damien as the kind of guy to really go all whole hog, you know? But I guess Inco would take that impression, because he's a big fucking wuss. He wouldn't know the difference. How Ferris dislocating his son's elbow gave me a window to... No, say a chance to scurry away like the bug that I was to find Olivia. Finding her at the top of those stairs. My horribly insensitive attempts at talking to her. Telling her that every awful thing she's ever said to her... Telling her that every awful thing anyone's ever said to her was true. Wouldn't that be word? I don't even know, man. This is like weird English. Telling her that every awful thing anyone's ever said to her was true. But I would forgive her. My attempt at forcing a hug almost got her killed. How would you know that? You were the one that fell down and broke your fucking neck, buddy. Olivia was screaming. She was awake and fine. Don't peer into the other timeline there, buddy. That's illegal. We already know what happened. We don't need your commentary. Get back in the plot. Slap. How long? Okay, we're almost there. We can almost cut the video recording. I finished out the recap of my life story of that night by writing out the only good thing that I did was sacrificing myself for her. My needing to be contemplative of what I wrote saved me from jotting down that I felt like I should have just died from it. How much simpler it would have made things. I stole periodic glances from Randy, whose expression was clouding. Is that the right whose? I don't even know. I think whose is who is. If it's possessive, it's whose. I don't know. It's one of those weird words that English just invented for itself because it's feeling fucking funny about it. The longer my writing went, you could tell a storm was coming, but he was powerless to divert the course of it now. I finished my scrawl, several pages, and became almost illegible by the end. I managed to massage my aching hand and read back through. I didn't want to miss anything important. Everything would be laid out, and it would be up to him to decide my fate. Yeah, he's at the gallows. He's got that lever in his hand. He's giving it a little squeezy squeeze. Hate it when they start conducting. I hate that about Discord. That now YouTube has ads on it. Blech. I can't sneakily watch things because the ads are always noisy. Hold on, I'm just gonna get mad at some people. Alright. Oh, Scary Dave, you're here. I didn't notice you there, buddy. I almost didn't notice you there. As contented with it as I could be, I flipped the pages back to start, and only hesitating once, handed the notepad back to Randy before gesturing for him to read. We took a long rest, and then I began. He was thorough. He read it twice. Watching him flick back to the beginning and reading through it again turned my gut into knots. I wanted this. We both needed this. But I felt like I would die at any moment, anticipating where this was going. Over the course of his reading, the concerned look faded. He never looked angry, but by the time he finished reading, he looked like he had aged. He looked so tired. After Jesus, Randy, I'm so sorry. Again, that doesn't feel like something he says. Like, it feels like an anon thing. I'm sorry, okay? That just feels like an anon thing to me at this point. Maybe I've been spoiled by the wrong sources. Inco just seems like a weirdo, you know? A bit more agnostic than most people, because he just doesn't give a shit. Whereas Anon feels like the kid that has definitely been dragged to Sunday school. He gingerly handed the notepad back to me and then pinched his eyes and took several labored breaths, trying to steady himself. When he finally calmed himself down, he quietly stood and nodded. I see. I see. It was quiet. It was cold. It was done. I cleaved the only thing holding my life together today with the truth. And I deserved that entirely. I sank back into bed, exhausted beyond relief. Randy made his way back to the door, and just before I opened it, he paused. He didn't look at me, but he did say something. Call me when the specialist arrives tomorrow so I can be here, Inco, please. I slurred out my reply, and he was gone. I could feel my face contort into a mess, and quiet, tearless sob racks my body.